qualifying. Sorry. Discover needs, wants, and explore options. What we are talking about, you are selling something.
Exactly.
You are selling something. Yeah. How do you know what they wanted?
Research.
You asked them.
Don't assume. Let them tell you.
Actually, do you even have to ask them, or you just let them talk?
These are all methods, different
Yeah.
methods of the
Yeah.
presentation, but we are talking about that section here. First, we have to know. Don't assume what I want. One of the things, for instance, again, I added to the political environment in our country, in Canada, is everybody thinks that because what they believe in is what everybody else wants. If you talk to our leaders, have you noticed the way they talk? Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter conservative. Canadians need this. Canadians want this. Canadians believe this. How do you know that? Did you ask all of the Canadians? You just got 15% of the votes. How do you know Canadians need? Mm-hmm. But when they want to sell themselves, they say, our value, our plan, and in case of the leaders of the party, my plan. Mm-hmm. So the language plays a major role when you do the sales job. And if you don't use it properly like politicians do, it comes like a con job. In the sales, because you are one-on-one, and the person you're selling has to put his hand or her hand to his or her own pocket, that con job doesn't go far if you come across as a con person. Don't assume. You ask them. Match your style that we discussed that. If you are a socializer, if you are a relator, if you are a thinker, and you see the other person is director, don't try to project your thinking attitude. Mm-hmm. Try to adjust yourself to them, or at least a middle ground to be connected. If you don't connect, no matter what you say, blah, 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 blah. Now, how can you figure out your style? We discussed that already. If you see they are, let's say you are calm person, you are calm person to your talk, very soft, very take your time and talk, and you come to my office and say, hey, what's the matter? What's happened there? Did you see that? Did you see that hockey that was going on? Did you see the baseball? Did you see? Then you know that I'm fast paced. Now, either you have to raise your not either, you have to elevate your pace to some extent to be a little bit congruent with the other person. So,
or do a lot of listening.
That is the key. That is the only key. To identify and establish customers' need is need assessment, to provide appropriate product and service to match what they really want, and then to ensure understanding of buyer's need using confirming question. I give you an example. About a month and a half ago, or a month ago, there was a show here. And you were outside trying to sell a package to an old elderly lady. I was in the kitchen, I heard it.
Nice.
Well.
I mean, I'm welcoming the review.
Oh, no. Yeah, it is criticism, but you know what's going wrong, so because I pick up all of this as a habit. This is just my habit. It's just in my nature. Now, did you identify what you want?
Probably not. I probably
you didn't,
assumed.
because you didn't have a question.
Yeah.
You just went there with your board and with your offers or with your package. And then to provide, if you did not identify, how could you provide appropriate product or service for her? Did you understand? Did you ensure and confirm understanding? So without any question, you assume, because she is there.
That's the biggest mistake, I guess, made out there, isn't it?
That is,
by everybody.
If I were you the next time, I would ask you, would you like to have a record of your program here?
It's like, what's his name? DiCaprio.
Well, the same
He
thing.
starts with a question.
Yeah.
It's high pressure, and yet he's starting with a question.
It's not.
Would you
it's-
like to?
Yeah,
You had
you,
many
you,
questions.
the moment you lose the connection, you did not even connect to that woman because they were talking about the show, you just got in. If you notice, Susan was asking her, do you mind, no, let me, her question,
this is that
her,
show.
her
Oh my
question was,
God.
can I ask you this? Or something. Twice. She asked a couple of things. And use I. And the answer of the older woman was, you can do whatever you want to do.
Which was no answer at all.
No, because the answer question was not about the woman. It started with I, can I do
Right.
If Susan wanted to ask the same question and wanted to communicate with the woman,
Would you like to
would
talk about
have
this?
asked, what? No, not even that. What would you like to emphasize in this show?
Yeah. What is that you'd like to?
You didn't
us
answer.
to remember about
and
you.
you
Yeah.
are in the communication business, and you have to know the role of the pronoun when you're dealing with people.
Wow, boy, everybody blows that one, don't they?
No, that is I'm
That is
saying.
such a
No,
tough
by
one.
the way, what I'm saying is very common.
But even among salespeople, everybody does.
Oh,
it.
yes.
Even salespeople don't get it right.
By the way,
It's
20%
amazing.
of the salespeople
Yeah.
make 80% of the money. That means 80% of salespeople do squat.
Probably it's worse than that. Yeah,
To capture the important factual information,
that's incredible.
find answer to the
that
following.
mistake
What
all the
does the buyer sees as a winning situation? What are the customer core needs? And what is important to buyer? What they want.
Or what do they need? Yeah, what do they need?
There is only two things, either need it or want it. And usually, unlike the common perception, wants is more stronger than need. People don't need $300 Jordan sneaker. They want it. People don't need Corvette. They want it.
Yeah, so it's conspicuous consumption is pure.
What you
wants.
need a piece of bread to fill your
Yeah.
or a sandwich to get by during the day.
So just about every consumer
Yeah.
product is basically
So,
wants. Yeah.
by the way, things you need usually don't have salespeople.
Like bread, for instance.
Milk. You go to supermarket, everything is there.
Would
You
care
don't
to
you
buy-
don't see
would you like to
the-
buy some
you don't see a super salesman standing in front of the cereal.
Drink
Okay,
milk.
but by the way, we have the cereal is better than this. Things that you need don't need salespeople. So whatever, since you are a salesperson, it has to be something they want.
because there's choice there.
Now,
Yeah.
how you translate that want to need or convert that want to need, that is different skill.
Children
Mr.
are very-
Hardy,
children are very good at that.
Mr. Hardy, I understand. Thank you very much for the compliment. Mr. Hardy, I understand that you do not need my service at this moment. However, that means whatever I said is garbage.
Yeah.
However, don't you think it is needed? It is needed for your organization to have larger sales force.
How clever.
Really good, yeah.
How clever. So you took yourself right out of the equation.
I am not here.
don't need me.
I am no. You don't need me.
Now, let's
You
say
are
I'm
the
out,
decision.
now-
You are the man. You want to make. I don't care.
Yeah,
I am
that's
just a
very
delivery boy. I am just a form writer.
good. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna need to watch this over and over again, I can tell.
What is that?
No,
I
this
said I'm
is.
gonna have to watch this over and over
Oh,
again.
yes,
No,
it
no,
is
no.
a lot of information,
No,
of
to
course,
get it-
and
to
it is
really
just
get it in,
condensed
yeah.
version of that, by the way. What are the buyer's criteria to make a purchase? They need your product or service. They can make the decision to buy, and they are willing and able to pay. Now, you call places, hello, how are you? Is this John? If you know, if you don't know, may I talk to manager? And the guy said, hey, yes, it's John, I'm manager, what can I do for you? Oh, we are in the studio here in the corner of the street from you, a block away from you. I called to see if we can help you to improve your business, blah, 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 blah. Do you know if he is decision maker?
I can't assume that based on the fact that he's the manager.
Well, you already did it. I already talked to you, and I said that. The guy, I said, if you haven't done that, if you don't ask question before you present what you're selling, how do you know if he's decision maker? Good cold call people who sell on the phone, usually they call, may I talk to person responsible for this kind of the purchasing?
Yeah.
So they have better chance, not necessarily 100% better chance to get the person who is talking to.
Which is all stats.
Yeah.
You're just increasing your odds.
And another thing is paying. Again, to the scenario of that lady, maybe she was able to pay, but she was not willing to pay.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to find out what category they are related to. This is the way the society is, to some extent, illustration of the kind of the percentage. Not necessarily is correct, but to some extent give you an idea. They are able and willing, which is very small portion of the population when it comes to any given thing. Able but not willing. Not able but willing, and not able not willing. It doesn't mean that you have to discard all these three and just focus on able and willing. This pyramid or this illustration tells you how to go about it. I give you a couple examples of the commercials. Break, Leon, which we discussed a few weeks back very briefly. They tell you what is that? Buy now and don't pay till 2020.
So not able is not a problem.
Not able, but they are willing to pay. I want to have a couch. If I don't have money in my pocket, hell with it. I can pay it in 2 years.
So they're going straight to a bigger
Straight
section.
to that portion. Because
Yeah.
if someone is able and not willing, doesn't matter what they sell, they are not willing to. If they are able and willing, they don't need the commercial. They buy in a fancy place their couch. If I am selling a high-level investment like Madoff did, they are going all the way up to the able and willing.
Yeah, and ignoring everybody else.
So con artists usually, if they have something to sell to the fraud or have a Ponzi scheme, they focus on able and willing. So their list of their prospect is short, but consists of top millionaires.
Unless you're doing network marketing, in which case you can hit the mainstream.
Network marketing works based on the grid.
No, but it just works on a larger slice.
Oh no, the network marketing actually works on the very bottom part, not able, not willing.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like, so that you're really going for this mass of, you know.
Actually, they
it's
are
bottom
they are
feeding.
second one, yes, but they are yes, not able, not
Yeah.
willing.
Well, why wouldn't you go to the top of the pyramid with something that wasn't a scheme, of course? I mean, wouldn't that...
Because they don't need salespeople. If they want, they are able and they are willing to buy
I see
anything
what
they
you're
want.
saying. Okay.
Why do I need you?
Well, but there what you're going to have is like a very expensive furniture store, which
Yeah.
you're going
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. If you are going to, let's say,
Yeah,
You're
they might
going
be
in
able,
there.
willing, but not knowledgeable.
oh,
No, no, but they're coming in, like you're coming in. Like
Yeah,
you're not, they're
that's
not going
right,
out.
you're right. I
You're
get
actually
it,
going
yeah.
there.
Yeah,
You don't need the salesperson
Yeah.
for instance, high fashion boutiques.
Yeah.
You always find not able and willing.
And sometimes we have people in the studio too that call up and they know what they want and they're
Yeah, they give you that Sorry. Okay, you're getting to there. How to qualify? Question, listen, confirm, summarize, observe. Very simple. Do we have coffee?
Yes.
Are you telling me there is a coffee?
Yeah. Did you want me to get you one?
I sold. Simple as that. I question, I listen, I confirm, I summarize, and I observe, and you answer.
Wow. Nice job.
Qualifying practice. If you want to practice qualifying. What is that? You just click, huh?
I know, I'm liking it.
Okay, just clicked. Qualifying practice. A smile, short talk, few questions. Rule 2080, or some people call it 37. That means 20% of time you talk, 80% you listen.
Yeah.
It's very simple. It's difficult to handle it if your mind is very active.
God, isn't it, man?
Because most of the time, even when we as a human going to a seminar or to a something, we are more, as soon as something comes and triggers something, we spend the next few minutes trying to formulate a question rather than listening to the rest of things. So we
So
have
even
to.
when we're listening, we're not listening.
Yeah, we have to. We are listening, sitting there, but we are formulating what question I am going to ask or how I am going to ask this question. So that moment you miss listening. Never make assumption, and we discussed that. Always ask. W5 question. What, where, why, who, which. You never ever start your questioning with this W5 at this level. With the rest, we can. I don't go at the first step. I met John Hardy. Hello, how are you? I make the connection. Now I am going to qualify. I say, how much money do you have? What do you want? Where do you live? What you do? This is very defensive kind of the question when you start. You never start your qualifying question or first question with W5. Second, third question, that's fine, but not first one. Because this W, of course, it goes to the how questions. Open-end question, close-end question, clarifying question. What is the open-end question?
Vague, something, how's your family?
Good.
What was it?
Okay. How it was open-end question?
Oh,
Because it's
no.
not relevant to the.
No,
you're
no.
just
Open-ended means that there isn't a fixed answer. It's something you
No,
need to
yes, no,
Oh,
no.
okay.
No, it's like, how are you feeling today?
How are you? Even that you say
Pretty good, or
anything again. You start with the how. Anything exciting happened today?
yeah.
And then you pause, you think, and then you decide whether or not, and then you describe. Or not really, but I met Lalo today. You give me information. But if I say, what did you do today? Nothing.
But if I'm selling braces and I say, how's your family, and I'm trying to, that doesn't count. If I'm
Oh, that
trying
is- that
to
is-
make a comfort level and then.
Oh,
I'm
that was the approach.
Okay.
We are talking about now qualify. You already passed that stage.
Oh, okay.
You are already past that stage. You are in the comfort zone. You are communicating. Now you want to gain like interrogation. For instance, one of the style of the police interrogation is as follows. They arrest someone or they detain someone. They get into the small room. The officer or constable comes and says, how are you doing? How's things? I'm sorry to have you here, but do you mind if I ask you some questions? First, make a person to be in the comfort zone, which is that approach, and then you ask. They don't come to the room and said, did you kill the guy? They never come to the room, while even it is their right, but they never, ever come to a room and ask a suspect, did you kill the guy? Why?
He's going to get a lawyer immediately.
Or you say, no. Then what is the follow-up question?
Are you sure?
Are you sure? I told you no. Are you dumb?
Are you sure?
What kind of the police are you? I told you no. But if I put you in the comfort that approach in the qualifying zone, and then they don't start to say, "Did you kill?"
So
Do you have any recollection of things happened yesterday? Open-end question.
yeah.
This is not just sales. This is, you can apply it anywhere to life. If you have a family, you want to get some information that someone had a rumor to you, you can use this technique and get the information. So when you open-end question is the part that you qualify. The end or a close-end question, you ask for a specific answer. Let's say Mr. Hardy, you said that and you explain, after I ask you, can you explain about your business? And you said, oh, my business works this way. So it is open-end question.
Yeah.
And then I want a specific answer. Do you mind to tell me how many sales did you have last month? And again, the question I'm asking, don't go straight, how many sales did you have last month, or how many? Do you mind if I say? So still gradually from open-end, transfer it to middle ground, and then to the W5 question.
Yeah.
And then we have clarifying question, which when we get to the end of the conversation, when we realize after listening, good listening, we realize that Mr. Hardy needs 5 salespeople in his organization, and therefore he's in need of the, let's say, sales training or sales trainer. Then I use the clarifying question. So as I gather, Mr. Hardy, having a sales trainer would drastically help to the organization to move forward. Is that correct? Is that? So I don't insult you. I just clarify what I heard.
So at this point, you're 100% sure of getting a yes. So it's just to
I'm confirming what is your need, what is your
Yeah.
want. Again, my job in this stage is to verify what is factually what you really want, what kind of the service I can provide for you, and confirm that service.
and lock the person
Yeah.
in.
Question I'd ask, like that, are designed to gain information, and we don't talk about that freely. Let them talk. Sample. How important is, in your opinion? What is your opinion in the main reason or why families do that? Or how difficult is it for you to teach your family member, whatever? So you are questioning something that opens their inside vault. Which, if you notice in the show, I do that
Yeah.
internally.
In the
I don't
opening,
think
yeah,
about it.
yeah,
I
you
just
do it. Yeah.
oh, sorry.
It's smart.
Once a question asked, shut up. Be quiet. One of the things that I noticed, for instance, in some of the shows here in that channel, whoever asking the question, okay, let's say, Mary, you said that you had a school, that's correct? And when was that? By the way, do you remember that we talked about that? I wanted to make sure that you understand that we are talking about the same school.
So you're not having the opportunity to field the first question.
Not only that, first of all, I didn't listen. Second, I interrupted your thought process. And third, the question is completely changed its nature. Ask simple questions.
2009.
What is that? Oh, no, no. I mean, simple
Giving you the
question.
answer.
So we are all doing that in our personal relationship, with our business relationship, with our casual relationship. We do that. So it's not, first of all, it's not unusual, it's not unnormal, it's just there. If you want to be ahead, you have to control it. Closing question. Again, as you noticed, which I said that you transfer. Let me ask you, what is your work, let's say, sales? Would you please help me to understand how many employees do you have, or what type of employees do you have? In your case, for instance.
Yeah.
How would you describe? I asked W5 question, but with a little bit of a spice at the beginning.
Yeah.
It is important to save your money. Is it important to save you money? Is automatic withdrawal the easiest way? I just used a couple different industries and so on. Although all type of questions are used for different purposes throughout the presentation, never start, which I discussed that with you, never start the first question with the W5 question in this stage. When we get to the closing, that is different story. Why do I have difficulty with listening? Here's some of the reasons. Probably you can relate to that when I could relate to that, of course. Thinking faster than speaking. Have you ever been writing something so fast, then later you couldn't understand what you wrote? Because you are thinking, and you are thinking of not losing the thoughts, so you're fast writing gibberish. Same way the brain works. You think faster, so you don't listen. Focusing on customer mannerism, appearance. That is why at the beginning of the slide, this presentation, I said, even though I am unorthodox, I am fast and that, put it aside. You're focusing on that. So comes back to your question earlier at the break. You said, if I am dressing like that. Because some people focus on the mannerism and the appearance. So if as a salesperson you want to convey the message, avoid being a spectacle or make a spectacle of yourself, because it just makes your life more difficult. Mm-hmm. Not you are not going to succeed, but it's more difficult because it takes time to get the person to pass the preconceived judgment of you. Being frustrated as a result of personal issues such as anger, fear, worry, and so on. If you had a dispute with your colleague, with your relative, with your friends this morning, and you get into the phone and talking, or if you meet a client and you are constantly thinking of how I should have told him that. So you're not listening to the client. You're thinking of your own drama. And daydreaming, of course, which is very popular. How can
That's a
I?
good one for me, I'll tell you.
Huh?
That daydreaming one? Oh
Yeah.
my God.
How can I read body language? Keep an open mind and focus on what the person is. We were talking about that. Learn about what is said and what not to say. You see, people say a lot of things. Sometimes they don't say a lot of things, which is more answer than it. For instance, you go to a client, you are sitting in there, you are selling your stuff. Let's say you are in my office and you are saying, oh yes, we are going to do this, we have a crease here and we do that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Really? What I'm saying?
I'm not that interested, actually.
Oh, I'm wasting my time, yes. I don't buy you. I don't buy what you say. So you have to pay attention. And at that moment, you have to stop, change very fast, change your strategy accordingly. So
Would you shift the focus to them quickly?
usually when you get that kind of answer, that means you haven't done your job right at the beginning.
No, right, but as a correction, when you try to kind of get
Oh, yes,
focus then on them.
it's like go at the beginning.
Yeah.
For instance, let's say I am saying that and you go to, sorry, it is out of a topic, but is that picture is drawn by you or you bought it? What's happened? Distraction.
Yeah.
Distraction, come back to the step one, make rapport again.
Then you reach in, take their wallet, present it to them, and it's like your little magic trick.
Yeah. It is the card, and it is an ace that we are talking about. So
Or behind their ear, you know.
let me get you a loony. Okay.
That's what
What-
you get with circus folk.
What are probable meaning of the body language and gesture? These are some of the common one.
Yes,
Probably
of
you'd
course.
like
How
to know that.
Sell to circus folk.
You'd like to know that. Rolled eye to the ceiling. Disbelief and doubt.
So it's not a positive sign.
No, you know that these are exact meaning.
Yeah.
Cross-armed, defensive, prove it to me attitude kind of the disagreement. Leaning back in the chair, thinking, or I'm not involved yet. Leaning into the presentation, interested, involved. For instance, if you're at the desk, usually in the office, across the desk, and the guy is sitting like that, and immediately you say something about the price or something. Oh, really? This is different than the hair that I said, because the body language changed.
Right. Yeah.
So hand under the chin and cross-leg disagreement, of course. Clenched hand, feeling pressure, anxiety. You heard that? You saw that or not? Have you seen it?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And winding a smile, friendly agreement, and lack of direct eye contact, uncomfortable feeling, and so on. And by the way, eye contact. If you remember at the approach, I said first make eye contact and then a smile. That's very important. If you don't make eye contact and a smile, it means nothing.
Yeah. You know, it's an interesting thing. There's a slight delay, and if you introduce, because it's not usual to do a slight delay, but if you do the slight delay, and it's funny.
Is already connection is
just the slightest
Oh,
delay.
yeah,
because it's
it
almost
takes
like,
maybe 1 millisecond or something
yeah,
like that.
it's
Yes.
not even the
Yeah.
slightest delay. It's not like a second will be forever. There's a lot more power to it than it's interesting because when you actually try to do it, you'll notice that if you try to separate the two, you really become very aware.
Yeah, that is why it's like a telepathy. As soon as you have you, I mean, when they say love in the first sight, they never say love in the first smile.
No, or
It is
be
the sight.
slightly cross-eyed. That also works.
Yeah. Okay, listening versus.
Doesn't that make you look like there's something?
By the way, listening is an active process.
You know,
Some
some
people.
alternative
What is that?
sounds
What
good.
to say?
I was just thinking slightly cross-eyed.
No.
That-
I got that. I just moved on.
Sorry.
Listening is an active process,
Yeah,
by the way.
sorry.
Listening is not passive
Yeah.
because it takes more energy to listen than you believe.
To speak, actually, then yeah, it's like
Because you have to control, open to. I had a professor. I mean, I heard it here too, but I very vividly remember. I heard that when I was in my 21, 22 years old, and one of my professors said, because we were in the classroom, people were talking. He said, God gives us 2 ears, 2 eyes, 1 mouth. That means less talk, more watch, more listen. So that was the first time. Come on. How can I adapt to a style of the others? A couple examples. If you are an amiable type of a salesperson encountering an analytical type, you must downplay your needs to feel good about the relationship first and focus more on the task. So that means if I am, which we discussed that, if John is a relator and I am a director, he has to leave his relating side behind and more adapt to my side. I know it's one of those things that it takes, first of all, time to learn it, and secondly, it takes time to wanting to do it, because some people, it is me. If you like me, I am one of the examples. It's me. You want it, take it. You don't want it, take it. I'm not going to change myself for you.
no, but one
What
thing I
I'm
guess
saying
that
is
you-
the objective
no,
is
but I
met.
guess one thing that you can do though is, let's just say the relator.
Mhm.
The relator, because they're the introverted type, and because the director likes to be in control, what the relator can do is still within themselves will keep it shorter, get to the point faster.
Yes, that is
Exactly, but they're not really having to change themselves per se, just within that.
Have a seat. Have a seat. We have
Yeah.
new audience.
Within that, you know, sort of, so that they
Here,
can.
there is another chair here. No, no, okay.
But
Okay.
imagine it's more difficult. Let's just say if you're a director type, and you're having to sort of.
Of course, it doesn't matter.
They wouldn't make good salespeople, would they? The directors.
No,
types in general?
directors usually you
They
never
don't want to be in a position.
you,
of
you
having to
never
sell.
put director in customer service. You never put director in the sales unless it's high level industrial or solution based sales.
And for closing, probably.
For
as
closing,
opposed
yes.
to the report.
Yes.
Just at the end.
Yeah.
So the expressive. Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah. So that is why you have to know yourself first. Identifying priorities. Because people have a lot of requirements, how do you want to identify? You have to ask them again. Don't ask, you don't get it.
Yeah.
So, and then identify their expectation, because maybe my priorities is to have a dinner tonight, but my expectation is to have a steak. So if I tell you that let's say you are selling your restaurant menu to me and say, what is your priority? I say, well, to eat. And if you do not verify my expectation and you bring me a dish of the vegetarian food, am I happy about that?
No.
So both of them is necessary. What is your priority? What is your expectation? And ask directly. Nothing is wrong with that. People are scared of asking questions because they don't want to be asked questions. In sales, you have to get that attitude out of yourself.
Yeah.
So perhaps I can ask you, how would you generalize about this? Or could you tell me what kind of the service you provide? Okay, identifying customer's priority and expectation, and that is an example. If customers demand a control, by the way, this control is not that director. They ask to have a control over that. You say, how do you manage when you don't want to do this, for instance? If they ask for connection, these are an example, by the way, it's not.
Yeah.
You do, how often do you have to wait? Or if you want comfort, how do you find within family, friends, whatever? And competition, how do you respond to that? This is an example of you're selling something that either the customer needs to have a control over that or needs to have a connection. If not connection personally, it could be telecommunication, it could be internet, it could be whatever. Or it would be comfort or competition.
Wow.
And these are the recommendations. Then when you realize what is the requirement and expectation, then you do your recommendation. And how you do that? With this service, you will have, again, benefits. If it is that channel's a studio and you're selling John Hardy a video production, and I know that John Hardy wants a video for business, and his expectation is to have 15 minutes of the very intense commercial built-in video, what you do, we recommend, and John Hardy is let's say, the director. You say, with this package, whatever the package you have, you will have fast and high impact commercial at no time. So I use all of the words that is appropriate for the director, and I provide a solution.
Yeah. No,
Now, if you are John Hardy's relator, with this package, you will have very steady process of your information being delivered to your customer that you feel like it. Same thing. Just the words changed. How are you? Is you are in the middle, I think.
I'm in the middle, but I'm learning a lot.
How close are we to the end of it?
Oh, it's a lot, but we are first. Let's finish qualifying, then we go for a break, and then you decide if you want to continue. We are end of the qualifying anyhow. Providing solution. Again, there are some examples. I am not going through that, but you can always alter it or customize it based on your demeanor. Don't try to use the script and apply it to way that you talk. You have to be genuine. If you are not yourself, you don't have the authenticity, the other person knows that. So that way you can provide solutions. For instance, this is the best solution for you because, then again, you go to the benefits.
Right.
You understand that when I was focusing on the product benefit, and because here you can use it. And testing solution is test solution possible. Testing is simple and fast way. And how you do that? You can test by, would it help you what? This test is usually at this stage if you want to see a buying signal. If the person is really listening to you. After you check the qualification, find out what they want, what they need, what is their priority, what is their expectation. You provide and recommend a solution. Now you want to see if that solution is what they really, or you miss something in the conversation. You want to test it before you go to the final, because if you miss something, this testing, you say, okay, would it help you to know this easy access to sales data or whatever in this project? I said, no, that is not what I want. We have already that.
You know, I'm just thinking too, this reminds me of conversational hypnosis. You're using exactly the same protocols that you're going in, and at each time you're verifying. So
yes.
if you go back, you loop back,
you
start
loop
again, and go back.
And there is a reason,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
if I'm spending half an hour of my time to do the whole process, let's say, and I spend 1 hour traveling and 1 hour back, it's 2.5 hours of my time.
Yeah.
Not to mention amount of the time I spend on the prospecting to get this guy. I don't want to lose it based on my failure of the communication.
Oh yeah, no.
And
it's
always
narrowing,
the communication fails in sales because of you, not because of others. You are the one who is selling. There is no such a thing as the other guy didn't buy.
No, it's like a whole funnel that's landed down to
If
this point. Yeah.
if the guy is not buyer, that means either you didn't do your qualification right, your prospecting right, your communication right, your questioning right.
So it means for every single fail, which of course you'll get, you can go back and analyze where the
Which
flaw is.
at
Yeah.
the end I